I am so happy to be interviewing Kendra and Randi from Glow Martini Lounge. They are just beautiful women and so creative. I'm so happy to have Kendra here from Glow Martini Lounge.
Hi.
And you're a long-time local resident, huh?
Yes, I was born and raised with my other siblings in Enumclaw.
And how did y'all come up with the concept for Glow?
So my mom and I had coffee stands over in Eastern Washington, and we had a couple over there, and we had just decided that maybe we would open a martini lounge over in the Yakima area. And then we ended up selling our coffee stands, but I still had the idea of opening a martini lounge. One day I asked my sister if her and her husband wanted to be partners, and they said yes, and the rest is history. Here we are.
And you're so creative. The food there is delicious. And personally, my favorite is the bougie bread.
Oh, it's so good. I love our crab stuffed avocado.
Okay.
I really, really like that. The bougie bread's amazing, and that actually came from our chef, Keb. He was the one that came up with that one. We put so much time and effort into creating our food menu to kind of bring something different than what's around here. So it's hard because everything is so good. We're definitely a craft cocktail place. We're not just a martini lounge, and we build our drinks. So we don't just pour them crafty, and we build them, and they take time. And so when you come in on a Friday or Saturday night and we're, lines out the door, it might take a little bit to get a drink because we're not pouring them in 5 seconds. It's taken us a little bit longer to, conclude our craft.
All right, so how did you come up with the name Glow?
Okay, a funny story. So my mom, when her and I were thinking about doing a martini lounge together, we had our own idea of what the decor would look like, and we had our own name picked out. Well, when I realized that it wasn't going to be her doing it with me, and I was just going to, go out on my own maybe or something, then I knew I had to change the name. So one night we are at a local restaurant in Bonney Lake, and I'm talking with my cousin, and we leave and go pick my daughter up, and we went to go Christmas light seeing. And we go into this housing development in Buckley, and my cousin had just made a comment about how she loved how the Christmas lights were glowing. And she literally said, "Oh my gosh, I love how those ones glow." And in that moment, I knew that was going to be the name of the Martini Lounge. We get a lot of people, a lot of men, that they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not going into a martini lounge." And they come in and they get the service that we provide and the drinks that we provide. Our number one selling drink is called the Ruckus, and it's our version of an old fashioned. And you can get it smoked, so it comes in a big glass dome that's filled with applewood smoke. And once the men come in and experience and get past the name like that it's a martini lounge and that we're actually a full bar, they come back and they tell their golfing friends and they tell their buddies and they tell their boating friends, and they keep coming back. So we've been very, very blessed to have the community rally around us during this difficult time, and we've stayed open, and we're just gonna go up from here. There is a story behind every detail in that bar.
Really?
There is a story about the moose antlers. There's a story about the chandeliers, the moon pictures, the stacked wood, the shiny, glittery things. There is a story about the table down at the lower booth. There's a story about the pictures in our bathrooms. There is a story about a local artist, Henry, came in and painted a wall, and there's a story behind that. There's a story behind the way we shaped our bar. It's called a peninsula, and we do that because our uncle is a really high-end home builder out in Gig Harbor on the peninsula, and it was his idea. There's a story about this fire. There's just a story about everything in there. So it's very family oriented, and what we do is we bring the big city feel to small town settings.
It just was such a nice place to go, and everybody, you were so friendly, and you waited on us several times.
Oh, thank you.
And then even other employees that we met there, we didn't feel like just a customer. We felt like friends. We really did.
She's the people person for sure. I do a lot more of the behind the scenes, so I take care of all of the
the office end of the business. Yeah, I'm the modern industrial. She's the splash of glam.
Wow, your drinks are just an experience. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all I can
Love that.
describe. I mean, I remember my one girlfriend, so there's like 3 Karens, and we come in there, and there was one drink, and it's the peach margarita, and I think it had jalapeno in it.
The spicy peach.
Yes.
That one's coming out on the new menu.
Oh my God, because when it had gone away, my other friend Karen was like, almost like, you know, seriously clinically depressed. Okay?
Right.
And she was like, I had dreams about that drink.
I love it. One thing we love is that we do kind of have a large menu. And so people love to come in, whether it's in a group or they do it by themselves, and they want to order every drink on the menu. So if they're with the group, they'll all order, and then the next round they'll order different ones. So that's kind of fun. I love when people do that.
And I saw that you have some tastings too.
We have, yes, so we have 2. We have a vodka flight that we do, and then we do with Heritage vodka out of Gig Harbor.
Okay.
And then we have the Suspect line, which is from Pursuit Distillery in Enumclaw. So, and they have kind of, one of them changed a little bit, but we've got strawberry mint, pineapple jalapeno, which is in our hide and seek, and that's super popular. Spiced apple, and then a cold brew. So we do a flight with those.
Yeah, how do you do it with the cold brew? Is it like...
It's a cold brew whiskey. So it's actually their whiskey. It's all flavored with all natural ingredients. They throw the jalapenos, the pineapple in. And so it's clear. It's not aged in the barrels. And then that's where they get the flavor for those particular whiskeys.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. If you haven't tried the hide and seek with the pineapple jalapeno, it's good. And if you want it spicy, get some muddled jalapeno.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah. So the hide and seek's a really popular one. Gummy bear. The Ruckus is probably our number one. For the most part, a lot of our menu, like I said, we're coming out with some new ones on our menu right now. But where the specialty bartenders come in more than me, we have a couple, Cameron and Matt and Jenny. They are just able to come up with some great stuff. We've got a great crew that we couldn't do this without them.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, y'all have done fantastic. I mean, I was telling your sister how great it was just for us here in Tehaleh to have a place to go. It was just like the Cheers kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your sister was always so friendly.
You're only as good as your employees. And that has been huge for us. And take care of them and they will take care of you. And this group we have is just phenomenal. We're very, very blessed, and we're just lucky.
You guys have got to see this place. It's gorgeous, and everything in there is delicious.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank you so
fun.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randi and Kendra. And if you like our channel, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. And her boyfriend was in there. This will be edited, don't worry.